In this video, I'm going to share our exact step-by-step process for planning highly engaging campaigns that print cash on demand for our clients. What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle Stout, founder of Elevate and Scale. Our clients typically see between 30 to 50% of their total revenue attributed to email. If you'd like email marketing to be a reliable and insanely profitable sales channel for your business, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Now let's get into it. Okay, so I talk a lot about how you need to have a good reason to show up in people's inboxes. You want to keep your emails interesting so that way you can keep people engaged over time and drive more repeat purchases and drive up customer lifetime value. And one of the biggest questions or concerns that I get from people is that they don't know how to come up with ideas for campaigns. They're not sure how to, whenever we're talking about segmentation, they're not sure, okay, well, how do we actually create campaigns for these different segments? What does that look like over the course of, a week or two or an entire month? So what I want to do is I want to show you the exact process that I take to plan out a campaign calendar for a month of campaigns for an e-commerce business. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you the exact spreadsheet that we use, and I'm actually going to give you access to the spreadsheet as well. So let me share my screen here. Okay, so first thing, this is really important. Do not request access to the spreadsheet. I'm not going to give you access to the spreadsheet because then someone will accidentally mess this, make some changes and mess it up for everyone. So if you want to use this spreadsheet for yourself, go up here to File, go to Make a Copy, and then copy it to your own Google Drive. And then from there, you can keep it, do whatever you want with it. I don't care what you do. Okay, so let me walk you through really quickly why the spreadsheet is set up this way. And again, feel free to make changes however you want. This is something that now we actually use project management software to plan out campaigns or really organize how we're doing everything. But we still use this. I still use a version of this for some clients and in some cases, because this is one thing, is that it's easy to share access with other people whenever you're using this. So, but let me walk you through it really quickly. So first, we have the column. So let's just say, I'm going to say that we're planning out for the month of August. It's the middle of August right now when I'm recording this video. So at this point, I would be planning out September campaigns, but again, this is just going to be a made-up scenario. So first, we have this first column where we've got each day of the week, each date of the month. Got a column for date notes, and this is whenever you want to make notes about certain holidays or anything that's going on that's relevant to that particular date that you want to know. And then this next column has the segment that you're going to be sending the email to. So segmentation is huge. This is a big part of how we're able to be successful with campaigns. I have another video on that, so it'll be linked somewhere either on the screen or down below. But be sure to watch that video if you're not familiar with how to create segments and why they're important. And I show you a quick little tutorial on how to create segments in Klaviyo. Okay, so this right here is for Smart Send, and it has a drop down. So this is just setting if we are determining, if we want to have Smart Send on or off. So Smart Send, what that does is it means that, let's say we send this campaign out to someone and we have Smart Send on, it won't send it to anyone who has received another email from us within a certain time period. Usually it's within 16 hours, I believe, is the default setting. So anyone who's received an email from your brand in the last 16 hours, and by the way, you can change that setting in Klaviyo, they won't receive this email. So this prevents you from just sending too many emails to people at once. We do both. So for certain campaigns, I want them to get the campaign no matter what. And other times I'm like, if they're getting another email from us, assuming we're not sending campaigns every single day, then I know that the other email they've received would have been in a flow. And a lot of times the flow emails are, the people who are getting those are people who are actively in your sales process right now, already shopping for a particular product. And so a lot of times I don't want to interrupt that. I want to just let them go ahead and complete that and not give them something else that could end up being a distraction. So we actually use Smart Send more than a lot of teams do on our campaigns. So campaign type, this is the angle of the email, the topic of the email, this is the reason for showing up in their inbox. And I'm going to show you how we plan this out. And in the CTA or promotion, usually I might write some CTA copy here, or I will at least link to the product or the collection or whatever that's being promoted. Sometimes there's multiple products. I'll put the links to whatever is being promoted, and I might put in, if there's a particular offer related to that email, I'll put that information in there if there's some kind of offer or promotion, and I might put in some call to action text. Or what I'll do is, so in my case, I have a copywriter and a graphic designer who create everything. I'll let my copywriter come up with the copy for that. And then this is where I will give the campaign a name. That way I can just copy and paste it into Klaviyo when I'm scheduling that campaign. Here is where I will put notes about, when this should be scheduled. So usually I'm just putting a certain time, time of day, and that's something that we test for. So we kind of have, after a while, we know which times work best on which days of the week. Email copy, this is where you can link to a Google, like let's say we were writing the copy in a Google Doc. I would put a link to the email copy here, so that way we have one master document where you can get all the information you need about these particular emails. And then this right here is where we would log the performance after the emails have already gone out. So we can put our open rates, click rates, conversion rates, and then the revenue generated. And there's a formula down here that will calculate the averages and then the monthly total, and I'll show you how that works. It's very simple though, you don't have to mess with it. You can just plug your numbers in. And then this right here is where I would link to, like let's just say you had some images, or you had a Google folder of images, GIFs, videos, whatever assets that you want for that particular email. I would put a URL here to those assets, so it's just, again, easy for the graphic designer to get access to those things. And then if you have any other notes that you want to share, or maybe you're communicating with someone else on the team about that campaign, you can put that stuff here. Again, feel free to change this however you want, to work with your particular workflow. This is what we have. So, okay, so you've got this blank spreadsheet here. I personally think I like to work in batches. So rather than, let's say, planning out the campaigns for this week, the same week, and then going and creating those, I like to just dedicate a little bit extra time now to get all of it planned out. So normally, as we're getting halfway closer to, towards the end of 1 month, let's say it's August, I'll start planning out the emails for the entire month of September for our clients. So, like I said, actually, maybe I didn't say this, but sometimes this can take a little time. This might take you an hour to plan out all of the campaigns. It might take you 2 hours. It's worthwhile though, because the work you put into these campaigns before you create them and before you send them is going to determine the results you get. You can't control what happens after you send the email, but you can control everything that goes into creating these emails, into creating really good emails that people actually want to receive. So that way it's not the typical annoying experience where people, most people don't like a lot. The typical brand's emails suck. Let's just face it. Most of the time, it's kind of annoying to get emails from a lot of brands, even if you like that brand, because their emails suck. And a typical e-commerce thing is to just throw up an image and put a button down below the image, and that's it. And it's lazy. It's lazy and it's not interesting. Now, don't get me wrong. On the other side, the beautiful thing about e-commerce, one thing I love about this space, people love to shop. So it's not like those emails don't work. It's not that those emails don't make money. It's just that they don't make as much money as you could, but they also don't engage people and they don't retain people. And that is the whole purpose of email marketing, is customer retention. So you can get more repeat purchases over time and you can get higher customer lifetime value. Okay, so you're looking at this blank spreadsheet and you're wondering, where do I start? I have no idea. I don't have any ideas for campaigns. The first place I do, and this just kind of helps start getting the creative juices going. Obviously I have a full archive of campaign ideas, hundreds of different ideas of things that we've done for past clients. So I have that to work with. If you don't have that sort of thing yet, then I would recommend starting to build that out. So look at emails that you receive from other brands or emails you've done in the past that worked really well, and start to create a Google folder and maybe put screenshots or put documents with notes about those emails, so that way you have an archive or a database of ideas that you can use either to take that same concept and use it later, or just as something to kind of browse through to, again, get those creative juices going. So the first thing I start with is I like to go to a site called nationaltoday.com, and this is where you can find all the fun made-up holidays. And depending on the brand, so for some brands, you might not ever do anything besides the big major holidays like Christmas and all that. But for a lot of brands, these are just, they're kind of fun and engaging. They also can tie in where you can create social media content around these things, and a lot of times these fun, kind of made up holidays tend to trend on social media. So, but yeah, I would go here first, then I would click on the month that we're planning for. So you click August holidays. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be making up campaigns for a made up pet brand, actually specifically for a company that sells dog products. So here you can scroll down. Actually, it starts you at the date because we're in the middle of August right now. So if you scroll down, you see all these holidays, and you can click on each individual day and get the holiday and see, what are the holidays for that particular day. But as you can see, look at this. There's just every single day, there's tons of holidays. Let's scroll to the top. So just the 1st of August, you've got British Columbia Day, Civic Holiday, Colorado Day, Commerce Day, Dogist, Universal Birthday for shelter dogs, right? Okay. Now, again, some brands are going to have more holidays than others. Pets are a big passion niche, so there's going to be a lot of stuff. So, and one thing you can do to narrow the search down is you can click on this category. So I'm going to click on animal, and it's going to take you to this calendar here. And now I want to say, like, let's just say I only want to focus on dogs. I can deselect all of them, and I'll click dog. And now it's showing the dog holidays here. So if I just had, if I would, like, let's just say if your role is planning the emails, but you're not creating them, and maybe it's just your role is just to get ideas on paper, you might jot down all of the relevant ideas and make a note just so you have them available. So a lot of times what I will do, we typically won't ever feature more than one of these holidays a month. For this particular niche, dog lovers, they pretty much will take any excuse they can get to spoil their dogs, and they tend to like these kind of fun holidays more than your average customers or average people. So you can get away with maybe doing 1 or 2 a month. Again, we don't necessarily even feature these things every single month. I'm just trying to show you some ideas. So everything I'm trying to show you here is really just giving you ideas, not so much saying, hey, copy this thing exactly. So let's see here. We've got Dogist, Work Like a Dog Day. So you see how these things, like, they give you an angle for the email. So I really like this one on the 10th, National Spoil Your Dog Day. So I'm going to open that in a new tab. And then what I would do is I would just copy that link over. And then I'm going to go back here, and on the 10th, I'll put National Dog Day. I'll put this here. So now I'll go back to the holidays. Let's see, we've got, actually, hold on, I think I typed that wrong. This is National Spoil Your Dog Day. I kind of gave away that I'm going to also grab National Dog Day. But National Spoil Your Dog Day, I like that one because it has a natural marketing angle, right? People, pet lovers love to spoil their pets. People who love to spoil their pets are great customers because it means they're going to buy more stuff, right? So it's a fun angle to take that works for you and works for them. So then also on the 26th, there's National Dog Day. This is probably the bigger holiday of the two. Not to say that these are even, serious holidays or anything, but I will go ahead and note that one as well. So we'll go here to the 26th. This is National Dog Day, and I will link that here. Okay, so now I'm looking, and for this example, I'm going to say that we're planning out 2 campaigns a week, again, for a dog brand. If you have a smaller email list, you probably only want to focus, maybe do 1 email a week. If you have a really big list, let's say you've got hundreds of thousands of people, you're doing hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue every month, then you can actually up that. You might be looking at 3 to 4 campaigns a week. So again, this is just kind of, if I did one a week, I'm not really giving you very many ideas. So, okay, now, spoiler alert, I didn't want to make you sit here and watch me for an entire hour plan all this stuff out, so I actually planned a month of campaigns for this fake dog brand, and so I've got everything here. So now I'm going to walk you through my thinking on this. Okay. So if you have let me take a step back. First, we're going to look at the segments. That's the first part. Of course, you have date notes, but most of these days, there's nothing special about that day that we're going to be leveraging. So the first thing I want to start with is segmentation. So I want to have a steady rotation of different segments. That way we're hitting different groups within the email list, and we're not sending every email to everyone on the list. If you have a smaller brand, a smaller email list, you're not going to get much value out of using a bunch of different segments. To be honest, you're probably just going to want to do like a weekly email to a 30-day engaged segment. Again, I have a link to my segmentation video on how to create that, the difference between those segments and all of that. But as your brand gets bigger, as your list gets bigger, you have more customers, you have a bigger range where you can create these smaller groups within your entire list, but there's still enough people within each segment that it's worthwhile to email them. And once you get to that point, you really do want to start to keep this steady rotation. So that way, the thing is that once your emails get predictable, like once people know that you just email every single day at this time, assuming you're not putting out really great emails with that kind of frequency, a lot of people are just going to start ignoring them. They just get too used to seeing them in their inbox. It's not novel, it's not special. But the more you can, one, make the content more personalized to them because they're in a segment and you're creating that email content specifically for that segment, but also the timing in which they receive those emails is a little bit less predictable. Like one week they might get 2 emails, one week they might get 1. Maybe it's on different days of the week. It's more of a surprise to them, and to me, I find that makes it a little bit more interesting for people. A lot of email marketers, they like to do the thing where it's like, you hit them at the exact same time, same day, every single time, and make it predictable. Both can work, but again, I'm just sharing my thoughts on the approach that I take. So, okay, first email here, we are going to be targeting leads and then people who are interested in natural dog treats. I've got Smart Send on for this one. The type of email, this is going to be a product education email. But instead of just educating them on dog treats and just doing the typical thing about, here's all the 10 benefits about these dog treats. What we're going to do is we're going to take one very specific problem and then we're going to drill down on that, and then we're going to feature this product or this collection of products as the natural solution for that. So for one, if they're not in the market to buy these treats today, they hopefully at least learn something, or it was at least interesting, right? It was at least something that was kind of interesting. It was conversation worthy. We had a reason to show up in their inbox. And if they are in the market, we just gave them a really good reason to buy the dog treats. So in here, we're going to talk about the problem. So the problem we're going to talk about is dogs who get bad gas from dog treats. So again, I'm just making this stuff up. I'm not an expert on dog treats necessarily. But I know this is a real thing. There are a lot of treats that give dogs really terrible gas. There's also certain breeds that are more prone to gas. So those are things we can talk about in the email. But here, some bullets I've given to the copywriter is talk about the problem. So talk about this whole issue of, dogs getting terrible gas from treats. Now, depending on your brand, how you phrase that is going to be differently. Some brands don't want to use the word fart. Other brands would be, might take it like really far, and you can do whatever you want. Use your brand voice. And again, I'm just giving examples here. So we would talk about the problem. We would highlight the differences, how our products can hopefully prevent that from happening. Maybe if it's something that's, you can't control with the products and it's a breed issue, we would want to give them that information. Because we want to actually be helpful and useful and interesting for people. And then we would highlight our best, least gassy natural dog treats that we can. And then those would be the products that get promoted. So the CTA could just be shop natural dog treats, and we'd have a link to the collection of dog treats. And then in the email name here, you see I use the same naming convention for all the campaigns. This makes it, for one, easy to just look at them at a glance and know and remember what that email was, but also easy to search whenever you say you want to go pull up an old email from the past. The easiest thing is to search by date. So I always include the full date. I include the segment. If we have multiple segments, which a lot of times we do, I usually will include the big segment. I don't include the smaller segments that are in there. So in this one, it's going to be leads, people who have never purchased. And then I've got I'll usually either have a name of the email that's relevant to the email or just the product that's being promoted. So in this one, I'm just going to, it's like more of a general description. I'm just saying gassy dog treats. And then here for the schedule notes, I want to do a send time test of 6 a.m. versus 3 p.m. So a lot of times early on, we do a lot of send time testing until we kind of figure out what are the ideal times of each day of the week, and then we'll usually just stick with those going forward. Okay, and then later, if I were to, let's say, log the performance of this email, I could say that, let's say we got a 45% open rate, let's say we got a 1.7% click rate, maybe a 0.5 conversion rate, and let's say, a revenue, I could say we sold $775 worth of that particular product. So you can see as you go down here, you start filling that stuff out, it's going to give you your averages for the month and then the total revenue. You can calculate and track whatever you want. We usually do most of our tracking within Klaviyo, and there's just a lot more reporting you can do. The reason why I include this stuff in here is that whenever I go plan the campaigns for September, I like to be able to look at a glance, just in general, what were the high performers, kind of get an idea of what's the average baseline that we're at, because I want to continually beat that or at least meet it. And then, so yeah, just to kind of, this is really just snapshot view of the performance. Okay, let's see here. I'm not sure how long this video has gone. Okay, we're 22 minutes in. Okay, I don't know if I really need to spend the whole time going through this entire thing. Let me just run through some of these examples real quick. I've gone into detail on this, okay? But this is going to be a long video, and I know attention spans just aren't that high. So, okay, the next one, we're going to all customers. This is going to be a UGC email. We're going to show recent UGC. So these would be posts that people tag us in on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And then we're going to highlight some of the most popular products that our customers like to show off on social, because that's going to be relevant to this email content. And then the CTA here is that we're going to ask them to tag us in their social content. Now, because we're sending to customers, these people who are already more likely to tag us anyways, and we're showing off other customers, we're doing a lot of things here. So for one, UGC is fun for people because it shows social proof. So it shows that other people also like their products. It also puts faces to the reviews. So people see other people who like their products, and a lot of times those photos are them, like with dogs. Let's say that they're hiking with their dog, or they're sitting on a patio with their dog. They're doing things that they also like to do with their dogs, which furthers the strength of their relationship with your brand. Like, people want to see other people like them who like the same stuff. And the other thing is, a lot of people will end up just buying more stuff from you with an email like this, just because it's like they see something in there that, obviously they're already customers. Hopefully they're happy customers, and maybe they're going to see in a photo that someone is using a product in a certain way they haven't thought of, or this other dog is just super cute and really loves this thing, so now they want to get that thing for their dog, right? Like, it's just a natural thing, but you're not being salesy about it. And the other thing is, even if they don't buy a lot from this one, it's not a big deal, because you're trying to get UGC that you can then use in in future marketing. Okay, the next one. So you notice how I'm switching up the dates. I'm not going to go into all these details. This video is already taking too long. So let me just try to give you a quick high-level overview of the ideas, so you get an idea of my thinking on all this. Okay, the next one, we're going to the 30-day engaged group. So this one, the reason we're thinking here is that this week we're going to do a holiday. So I already know we're going to do a holiday. This is going to be the sale that we do this month. Some brands, we do some sort of promotion every month. Some brands, we only do promotions on the big holidays. This is going to come down to your brand strategy. For this brand, we're doing one, kind of like discount or some sort of special promotion So this week, I want to prime the list for that promotion. I don't want to do anything salesy on this email because I want to maximize their sales from this. Yes, we could get more sales today and then just exclude them here or try to get them to buy both. I find that to be not a very great customer experience for people. It's really annoying whenever you buy something and then the very next day they launch a big sale. It's like, I should have just waited. And then what happens is a lot of those people will end up contacting customer support and asking, can you retroactively apply this discount and blah, blah, blah. That's the thinking there. So Monday, we're going to hit them with this educational video. This is going to be 3 tips on bathing your dog at home without making a mess. Fill in the blank. It could be anything you want. But again, we're just trying to offer up some free value. We're trying to engage the whole list here, and we're getting them ready because we're about to surprise them with a fun sale. So then later in the week, we have National Spoil Your Dog Day. Everyone knows it's a fun made-up holiday. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. So the email, we're going to joke about spoiling their dogs. And then we're going to feature in this one, with this promotion, we're going to target a high average order value. So that's why we're using the angle of spoiling your dog. We're getting them thinking about not just buying like a necessity, but spoiling their dog. And then we're going to feature some product bundles that have a higher purchase price. And then the offer here is going to be a free gift when you spend at least $100, and you got to use the code SPOILED. Okay, and you notice how we like to use, you like to have fun CTAs and fun codes, things that tie into the content, because again, it just keeps the emails interesting, keeps it fun, and you're not doing the same typical boring thing that everyone else is doing. Okay, and that one we have Smart Send Off. I want everyone to get that one. So let's see here. Then next week on Monday, now we are going to send an email to leads and one-time buyers. So these are basically all the people who aren't repeat buyers or VIPs. And then we're also going to, let's see here. We're going to target people who are interested in dog bowls, but we're going to exclude people who have already purchased dog bowls. So in this one, we are going to do a product reviews email, and it's going to be focused on this product, which is a travel dog bowl. And then here we're going to talk about, because it's August 15th, we're going to talk about how the weather is finally cooling down and it's perfect patio weather. We're going to segue that into a conversation about how dogs, like while you're sitting there chowing down and having drinks and hanging out, your dog's thirsty, they need something to drink too, and you don't want them stranded without any water. And rather than having to try to ask the restaurant for something, you just have your own convenient travel water bowl, and then we're going to highlight some reviews from customers who love the travel bowl, and then that's going to be the natural transition to the call to action, which is keep your pup hydrated, and we'll link to the travel bowl in that email. Okay, then let's see. So then later in the week, August 18th, in my area, this is when a lot of kids are starting school again. So we're going to do a back to school themed email. And again, remember, we're just trying to have a reason to show up in their inbox. I hope one thing you take away from watching this is that you don't have to have the most clever things. You don't have to be the most original. It's just, if you can just be, somewhat original sometimes or creative, but just be relevant, relevant to your customers. Okay, so it's back to school. We're going to talk about how their dog is going to be bored with the kiddos going back to school. And then we're going to highlight some of the benefits that dog toys have. There's certain you can find research on everything. So you can literally find scientific research on everything. So we would look up, try to find some research or whatever that backs the fact that, how certain toys can be, mentally stimulating for dogs or whatever. And then we're going to feature the toys that we think would be the best or the most enjoyable for dogs to play with by themselves. So not toys where they need someone else to play with them. So maybe these are chew toys. I don't know enough about dog toys, but I actually do know there are a lot of toys out there specifically designed for helping dogs stay entertained whenever they're home alone. And then the CTA is going to be cure dog boredom or something like that. Okay, then the following week, and I know I didn't plan out the full month. I planned out 8 emails, so it's an average of 2 emails a week. Most months have 4 weeks, right? So sometimes it's going to, the amount of days it falls on and what days a week you send, you're going to have, some months will have more or less campaigns. I just want to give you guys a starting point. Okay, this one we're going to hit our VIPs, and this is going to be an early access to a new product launch. So there's a couple things here. One, because they're VIPs, you don't really need to give them a discount. These are the people who are most likely to buy. Doing something like early access is actually a value add for VIPs. These are people who are brand loyalists. They love everything you put out. It's fun for them. It's a nice reward for them to give them early access, especially if you have limited quantity of the particular product. But what's great about this is that you can actually, get their feedback. You can test this offer, this new product with your VIPs, get their feedback. These are the people who are most likely to give you feedback, and then you can use that to roll out the launch to everyone else. And what's great is that when your VIPs see you give them early access and they see you implement their feedback into the launch that goes out to everyone else, it makes them love your brand more because they know that they're actually involved in this. So it's really important if you're going to do something for VIPs that it's got to be real. Don't do the fake VIP thing where you just call every subscriber a VIP. Okay, so this one, early access, it's a new product launch. Here we're going to highlight their VIP status and thank them for their ongoing support. We're going to tease the benefits of the new product, and then we're going to announce the new product, and the call to action is get it before anyone else. And then finally, the last email I've got planned out here, this is August 26th, it's National Dog Day. This time we're going to the 30-day engaged group, and we're just going to do a brief intro on the holiday. We're going to joke about how we all love our dogs so much that we'll take any excuse to treat them, and then we're going to highlight the most popular products. And then here, again, this is all about just treating your pup. It's like really just, it's a fun holiday. It's just any excuse to treat your pup, and that's what this, that's the angle of this email, so that's the CTA there. Okay, so I know I was kind of running through that a lot at the end, but I just want to make the point that not to overthink this. If you just really want to have a reason to show up in their inbox, and as long as you have some reason to show up, you can tie in that thing to whatever product naturally fits with the angle you took, and it's a very fun, friendly, casual way to do email marketing where you're not having to be constantly salesy, but it allows you to email frequently. You can kind of increase that frequency over time because as you email more, you're going to make more money because if you're doing marketing right, every single email is going to be making you money. So the more emails you send, the more money you make. The challenge is you just don't want to send to everyone at all times because every email you send is also going to get at least a very small number at best case of unsubscribes. So you don't want to be, if you're hammering everyone on your list constantly, you could get to a point where you're getting more unsubscribes than you're getting new people on the list. Okay. Thank you for watching. I know this is a half an hour, so thank you for your time. I really hope this was helpful. I really hope that this is going to make it easier for you to plan out your email content. I know this is something that holds a lot of people back. A lot of brands just are not doing email marketing because they don't know what to do beyond just doing a holiday sale or, like just putting up a photo and putting a button of a particular product. And so I hope this takes that away. So I have one more thing for you. It's a free checklist. So this was actually a primer to the checklist. So now that you know how to plan out your campaigns, I have a free checklist for you. It's called Win Before You Send. And this is going to be the step-by-step process of how you can create your campaign. Actually, I should say plan your campaign using this campaign calendar, but then also creating the campaign in Klaviyo and doing quality control checks to make sure that you're sending out error-free emails every time. So this checklist will help you send campaigns that generate more sales and engagement, save time with a step-by-step process that anyone on your team can follow. You can give this to a VA or anyone. And it's going to help you grow your most cost-effective sales channel. So I'm going to link to the checklist below, or if you want to go directly to it, go to winbeforeyousend.com. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.